Welcome to today's Explainer. We're diving right into a seriously fascinating medical mystery today. You've probably wondered why some folks over 70 wake up just totally ready to take on the world, while others, well, they feel completely exhausted. And here's the crazy part. Both of these people might literally be spending the exact same amount of time in bed. So what's the deal? Why does the exact same duration of sleep give us completely different results when it comes to healthy aging? Let's figure it out. Okay, let's dive into this. It's a really frustrating paradox, right? We hear about it all the time. You spend 10, maybe 11 hours in bed, but you wake up with absolutely zero energy. Honestly, if that sounds familiar to you, you might kind of be looking at the problem completely backwards. Because getting more hours in bed absolutely does not automatically mean you'll have more energy. We really need a major paradigm shift in how we think about rest. There's this huge myth out there that only the total number of hours matters. But the reality, and sleep experts totally back this up, is that timing is literally everything. It's not just how long you sleep, it's precisely when your head hits that pillow. And this exact timing has a massive documented impact on things like your memory retention, your heart health, and your everyday energy levels. To get why timing is so crucial, we've got to look at the biology for a second. Your body runs on this internal clock, which we call the sleep-wake cycle. Think of it kind of like a giant internal thermostat for your brain. Now, as we pass 70, that thermostat naturally recalibrates. We naturally start getting tired earlier, and we wake up earlier. And hey, it's not a flaw in the system, it's actually a perfectly normal biological update. But here's the catch. Even though it's a completely natural shift, so many people mistakenly fight against it. They actively resist their own body's signals. And, a lot of times it's psychological. There's this fear that going to bed early makes you seem quote-unquote old. But skipping your biological sleep window just to stay up watching late-night TV, that basically guarantees you'll feel awful the next day. Look, going to bed at 9 p.m. doesn't mean you have to start eating dinner at 4 in the afternoon. When people fight this rhythm, they're just completely missing their body's optimal sleep window. And this brilliantly illustrates our main target. If we shouldn't fight the shift, where's the sweet spot? Well, according to the specialist, it falls right between 9 p.m. and 10:30 p.m. That is the absolute ideal bedtime for older adults, especially those over 70. Getting to sleep during this specific time frame perfectly aligns your changing body with its natural nighttime cycle, which unlocks a much deeper, vastly higher quality of rest. Now, obviously, every single person is uniquely wired, right? There's no magical minute on the clock that applies perfectly to every human on Earth. But what a lot of folks entirely overlook is the absolute golden rule of sleep: consistency. Our brains fundamentally crave routine. They love it. Knowing exactly when to expect sleep allows the brain to completely optimize its restorative processes. Let's compare two people just to really make this stick. Imagine Senior A, who goes to sleep at a super consistent 9:30 p.m. every single night. Now compare them to Senior B, who plays a little bedtime roulette. Maybe 10 p.m. on Tuesday, midnight on Thursday, 1 a.m. on the weekend. Even if they both magically get 8 hours of sleep, Senior A is going to win every time. Senior B's erratic schedule just deeply confuses the internal body clock, completely ruins sleep quality, and pretty much guarantees daytime fatigue. I want to pause right here for a second because the stakes are incredibly high. We aren't just talking about needing an extra cup of coffee to get through the afternoon. Researchers have clearly linked a confused internal clock in older adults to some severe hidden health risks. A messy routine actively accelerates memory problems, it weakens your immune system so you can't fight off bugs as well, it spikes your stress levels, and, this is a big one, it dramatically increases your risk of physical falls. We're talking about compounding severe physiological consequences here. To really grasp why this happens, we have to look at what's actually going on when we close our eyes. See, good sleep isn't just turning off. It's an incredibly active nightly repair system. When you keep a consistent, healthy sleep rhythm, your brain is working hard, actively organizing and storing your memories. Meanwhile, your body is busy repairing cellular tissues, and essential hormones are being carefully regulated. But when your sleep gets disrupted by erratic timing, that vital repair system basically gets shut down, or at the very least, it becomes highly ineffective. And this brings us right back to a super common mistake we see: the trap of spending 10 to 11 hours in bed. I know, it sounds totally counterintuitive, but extending your time in bed just to compensate for feeling tired will completely backfire on you. Instead of deep, restorative rest, you just end up getting light, highly fragmented sleep. It's kind of like a car engine constantly sputtering but never fully turning over. The truth is, most healthy adults over 70 still only need about 7 to 8 hours. So that focus absolutely has to be on the quality of the sleep, not just artificially stretching out the quantity of hours you spend lying there. So how do we practically fix this whole thing? Well, it starts well before your head actually hits the pillow, ideally with a solid 1-hour wind-down routine. Think of it as a landing runway for your brain. Dim the lights in your house to signal that night is falling, unplug from those bright, deceptive screens, and do something calming, like reading a good book. By doing this, you're actively sending a strong biological signal to your brain that it is time to power down. Now, what's really interesting about this slide is how our daytime habits play into the whole shebang. Naps are totally fine, especially if you've had a rough night, but there is a very strict rule you need to follow. Keep them under 30 minutes and take them early in the day. Taking long, late afternoon naps will absolutely hijack your natural nighttime sleep drive. It makes it nearly impossible to fall asleep at your optimal evening bedtime. Two other massive daytime factors we have to mention are daylight and daily movement. Getting natural morning sunlight is basically the ultimate anchor for your internal clock. Just 15 minutes outside in the morning, especially when combined with some gentle movement like gardening or stretching, physically primes your brain for better sleep 12 hours later. Sleep and physical activity are just intimately linked together. Okay, let's bring all of this together into a completely cost-free action plan. You want to aim for that 9 p.m. to 10:30 p.m. sleep window. Try to wake up at the exact same time every single day. Protect that evening wind-down routine, keep those daytime naps short, and get your daily dose of sunlight. When you do all of this, you're finally working in harmony with your body instead of constantly fighting against it. The big takeaway here is actually pretty profound. After age 70, good sleep is absolutely not a luxury. It's really not an indulgence. It is arguably the single most powerful tool you have for maintaining your longevity, your physical balance, your memory, and your overall mood. Seriously, honoring your internal clock is an act of deep self-care. Making small, consistent changes in your timing today will absolutely lead to brighter, much more energetic mornings tomorrow. So, I want to leave you with a question to really think about. What time do you usually go to bed right now? Have you ever actually noticed a shift in your energy levels or even your health when you allow yourself to sleep a bit earlier, totally in tune with your body's natural signals? I'd love to hear about it, so please share your own experiences in the comments below. Just remember, the information in this explainer is for educational purposes only, so definitely be sure to consult your healthcare provider before making any big changes to your routines or health plans. If you enjoyed this breakdown, make sure to hit subscribe so you never miss out on our future explainers. Thanks so much for learning with me today.